Hi guys, my name is Rebecca and I am the Group and Events Manager at the Air Zoo. This week we are celebrating Earth Day and all things sustainability. So I'm going to take some time today and show you different ways that we try to be a little bit more sustainable in our kitchen. So let's take an adventure and go on a little fridge forage and show you what needs to be used up in our fridge. We've got some produce that needs to be used up today, so we're going to walk you guys through how we make our unstuffed peppers recipe. This recipe is great because you can use whatever veggies you have in your fridge that need to be used and whatever preferred protein you have in your pantry. So we bought some groceries today, and something that we like to do when we go grocery shopping is making sure that we're cycling through our produce. And what that means is taking all of your old produce and moving it up to the front of the fridge and everything that you just purchased and putting it in the back. This helps us make sure that we are using things that are about to go bad before that happens. So some of the things that I looked at in our fridge and needed to be used up, you can see here. So we've got some green beans. I think we purchased these maybe a week or a week and a half ago, and you can see that a lot of them are kind of they're not looking so great. So what we'll end up doing is just picking through these and getting rid of the bad ones, and then we'll save what's good and cook those up. We've got some carrots, and those look perfectly fine. Some bell peppers. I think that this was the one that we had left in the fridge, so it's looking a little worn. I've got celery, and we just don't eat it too often, so I just want to make sure it gets used before it does go bad. Something else that we'll do is when we're cooking, if we're only using like half an onion or half a zucchini, we have these reusable bags that we'll take and put stuff in. So looks like I've got a zucchini, but I actually used this morning, so I know that that spot is probably just cosmetic. It smells fine, it feels fine, so I'm just going to use this. We've got half an onion. It looks perfectly fine. I'm going to definitely use that up. And then there's a zucchini that I can't remember when we used this, but the end doesn't look so great, but I'm going to cut that off. It looks fine. So we're definitely going to use this today. So that's another thing that you can do, is just because something appears to not look edible, we're at a time where we're trying not to go out as much. So it's really important to just use what you have and really peel that fruit or cut off the end of that produce and see if you can actually use it. And then I just had some ground pork that I took out of the freezer yesterday. So we're going to use this when we're cooking today. And you could really use any sort of ground beef or chicken or whatever you would like. So what we're probably going to do is I'm going to dice all of this up, and then we'll saute them, and we're probably going to just brown this meat. And the green beans I'm not going to dice up to go with all of this. I'm probably just going to turn the oven on and bake these. That's another tip, is I like to food prep. So if you are cooking something on the stove, turn your oven on and throw something in there too, because you might as well make food for later, and then it's ready to go because you're already in the kitchen. So we've prepped all of our veggies, and I have been heating up our Dutch oven, and then I'm heating up another skillet to cook the beef in. Normally I would have my husband helping me, and I would cook everything in one pot, but I'm just trying to speed this up a little bit. So I'm just going to put a little bit of oil in here, and this is pretty hot, so I'm going to go ahead and put all these veggies in here. And you know a pan is ready when you hear that sizzle. If you're not sure, then you can just put a little bit of the veggies in, and then if you hear it sizzle, you're good to go. And if not, just take them out and try again. And then I prepped the green beans. You can see only a few of them were still good, but this is enough to have. I'm gonna cook these up and I might eat them with my breakfast tomorrow. So to prep these, I'm just gonna put them on here. This is a really small amount. A little bit of oil, pepper, and kosher salt. And you just mix them with your hands. And I preheated the oven to 450. It's not quite ready yet. But when you're roasting veggies, if you like them nice and crispy, you should do them on a high heat. So I'll cook these for 8 to 10 minutes, and then I'll move them around and do another 8 to 10 until they're just a little bit brown. Now I'm gonna go stir the veggies. It's been a minute, so things have been cooking. I cooked the green beans, and you can see that they're nice and crispy. They're roasted now, and I love them like this. And this was some super easy food prep because like I said, I was already in the kitchen, so I just turned the oven on and made those. And we also didn't end up wasting those green beans because if we would have waited a couple more days, they could have gone completely bad. So we used up what we could. The pork has been cooked, and then we've got this delicious veggie mixture. I did add a little bit of beef stock in there because I didn't want to add more oil. I didn't want it to get too oily. And that also just helps enhance the flavor. It helps deglaze the bottom of the pan, and it also just helps those veggies cook up a little bit more. So this is pretty much cooked enough for me. I like it like this, so I like to put a can of tomatoes in there. So I'm gonna open these tomatoes up. I don't want it to be dry, so I like to add tomatoes, and again, it just kind of expands it so you have more meals to eat for the week. Mix that in. And at the same time, this pork is all cooked up. I'm just gonna put this in here. Like I said, I would normally cook the pork in my Dutch oven first, and then I would put that in another bowl, and then I would cook the veggies in here, but I was just trying to get things done a little bit quicker. So I kind of like it to be like a really thick, almost stew-like. So I'm gonna add some stock. If you aren't into that or you don't like tomatoes, you don't have to do that. It's really whatever you want. So I'm gonna just let this cook a little bbit more, and then it's gonna be done. Like I said, you can add rice to this or quinoa. You can replace the beef, or excuse me, pork, with any other sort of protein to make it vegetarian. There's no dairy in here, so we're good to go there. When we eat this, we'll probably put some goat cheese on it. That'll be really yummy, and it's probably gonna last us all week. And the great thing is that we just used all of the veggies that we had in our fridge that needed to be used up, so we're ready to make new meals with what we have in the fridge.